Avatar 2: The Way of Water made over $1 billion at the global box office, but I've yet to encounter a single human being that isn't a colleague who bothered to go see it. It's a good movie, breaking new ground in the realm of visual effects while building upon the world James Cameron created in countless ways. It's still pretty dry and predictable when it comes to storytelling and characters, but for the average Joe, it is more than enough for a film that provides rock-solid entertainment value without inspiring much else. This brings us to Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, a new open-world game from Ubisoft and Massive that aims to faithfully expand upon the filmic world with new characters, mechanics, and ideas. After a couple of hours with the game, though, it sure seems like a souped-up version of Far Cry. I recently popped down to Ubisoft's offices just outside of London and was thrown into the multicolored forests and floating cliffs of Pandora to do whatever I liked. There were some missions to follow as part of the preview build, but otherwise I spent 2 hours killing fastest military dudes, saving local inhabitants, and flying my Akron, who I called Floof, high into the sky in search of new discoveries. There's a sense of wonder not dissimilar to the films, like you are discovering the world for the first time as a fledgling Na'vi who must also earn stripes within a tribe that has every reason not to trust them. On the surface, this setting is ideal for an open-world game offering untold freedom and experimentation, but Frontiers of Pandora relies too much on past victories to ever escape their uninspiring shadow. The first thing I noticed when jumping into the game was how much of its control scheme and gameplay mechanics feel transplanted from Ubisoft's long-running open-world series. I can pull back a bow similarly, or sprint forward to clamber up platforms in ways that feel almost identical. You can't shake the similarities, so much so that it wouldn't be a stretch to label Frontiers of Pandora as a licensed side project, one that takes an existing universe and applies the Far Cry model to it. Which isn't a bad idea, and Avatar's range of exploration and combat fits snugly into the blueprint, especially when you are on the side of one faction vying for territory against another. You'll take over outposts by completing some pedestrian objectives, or save wildlife from patrolling grunts while exploring the world. There are also resources to gather, locals to help with everyday problems, and discoveries around which are designed much like modern Assassin's Creed games. Although most of these were already taken care of in the portion of the world I was allowed to explore, so it was hard to get an accurate idea of what moment-to-moment gameplay would be like aside from scripted missions. It wasn't ideal, but Pandora remains a gorgeously massive place. Flying feels incredible though, and goes a long way in conveying the sheer vastness of this world. Your Ikrin isn't limited to the clouds, but can soar far above them until it flirts with the precipice of space, all before flying back down in a process that not only takes minutes, but teases parts of the map I wasn't allowed to explore yet and couldn't wait to uncover. It's hard to ignore what Frontiers of Pandora is going for in its design philosophy, and how much of it fails to offer up anything new. But if it manages to flesh out the world of Avatar and its many ideas just enough, those shortcomings could be forgiven. There is a unique appeal to being dropped in a licensed game that goes beyond being a tie-in, and wants to push the universe further with its own spin on things. Although it's hard to tell how compelling its ideas can really be when the gameplay it relies on is made up of things we've seen so many times before, and also done better elsewhere. Your mileage with Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora will vary depending on two things: your love for Far Cry and your love for Avatar. If you're the only person on this planet who loves both of these things more than anything, then I have some amazing news. Otherwise, this feels like a visually stunning open-world game without the mechanical or narrative depth required to help it stand out in a year of masterpieces. I want to see more from the full game, but only for the benefit of my doubt that it offers something beyond these lukewarm initial impressions. So what you think about this news? Are you excited to play this game? Let me know in the comments section.